potentially deadly fire in February. Oxygen generators have failed. Removing carbon dioxide has been a problem. It's been uncomfortably hot. So astronaut Jerry Lineker, who boarded the Mir 4 months ago, must be delighted to be leaving. He'll be taxied home on the Atlantis. But when he moves out, astronaut Michael Foale moves in.
Our Russian partners have done a great job solving these problems and coming up with a plan that I think is going to keep the Mir very habitable and very operable over the next few months.
The U.S. has been spending hundreds of millions of dollars to keep Mir and the Russian space program in business. Many in Washington think it's pie in the sky, a waste of U.S. money. One thing NASA gets with Mir is a chance to practice building the new International Space Station. Moscow's a partner, but its money problems will likely set the schedule back at least another year.
If NASA had missed as many deadlines and broken as many promises as the Russians have, Congress would have killed the space station a long time ago.
The Americans on today's shuttle flight will have a chance to chat about all that with a Russian, Elena Kondakova. She spent 169 days on the Mir, but on this mission is part of the Atlantis crew. Morton Dean, ABC News, New York.
The Secretary of the Air Force may be willing to let the first female bomber pilot, Kelly Flynn, resign instead of facing a court-martial for adultery. The New York Times reports Air Force Secretary Sheila Widnall might let Flynn take an honorable discharge if she asks for one. The plan to court-martial Flynn has drawn a great deal of protest, and a resignation could get the Air Force out of an awkward situation. Published reports say federal prosecutors in the Unabomber case will recommend the death penalty for Theodore Kaczynski. The decision is up to Attorney General Janet Reno. Kaczynski faces trial in November on charges he sent mail bombs that killed 2 California men. The week's testimony at the Oklahoma City bombing trial wraps up today. Court will not be in session tomorrow. Yesterday's dramatic testimony included pictures taken just minutes before and 500 feet away from the blast. ABC legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin joins us from Denver. Good morning, Jeff.
Hi, Elizabeth.
What kind of impact did those ghostly images of that Ryder truck have on the jury?
Well, I'll tell you, Elizabeth, it really was an unforgettable moment because it was just the most routine, boring surveillance video from an apartment building about 500 feet away from the Murrah building. And you saw the picture of a woman waiting for her husband, sat there for a few minutes, and then unmistakably, out of the corner of the picture came the Ryder truck. And there was an audible gasp in the courtroom because here it was less than 5 minutes from the bombing, and it was further proof that this truck is the source of the bomb, and that's really the prosecutor's theme both yesterday and today.
But Jeffrey, you can't see the driver of the truck in those images. Can't McVeigh's lawyers argue, hey, it doesn't prove anything?
Absolutely, and in fact, one of the very curious and mysterious things about this surveillance video is that the sun is at just the angle that makes it impossible to see who's in the cab. You know, again, the defense lawyers will argue just a coincidence that there was a Ryder truck there, but at some point the jury's going to say, not a coincidence.
Now, in their effort to prove that, in fact, a Ryder truck was carrying the bomb, the prosecutors are bringing in a series of pieces of wreckage. I understand the courtroom looked more like a body shop yesterday.
It was remarkable, and what was especially striking was that the wreckage came from such a vast area. These were big pieces of truck, and they flew through the air 200, 300, 500 feet. One large piece landed on top of a 3-story building. And today, what the prosecutors are going to do is bring in the next truck on the assembly line, have it which has been cut up, and show how all the pieces match, proving that this was a Ryder truck that blew up in Oklahoma City.
All right, should be interesting. Thanks, Jeff. Finally, this morning, testing continues today on James Earl Ray's rifle, which authorities believe killed Martin Luther King Jr. Experts fired the weapon into a water tank to take new bullet samples. Ray, who is seeking a new trial, hopes the tests will prove another weapon was used in the assassination. And that's a quick look at the news at 8:07. Let's go back to Helsinki, Finland, and check the weather with Spencer Christian.
Okay, Elizabeth, the weather here is gorgeous. We could not have asked for a nice Here in Helsinki, sunny and warm, and we got a bunch of kids out here with us today. The reason for that is the Moomins are here. The Moomins are as popular here in Finland as Barney is back in the States. Now, the Moomins are the creation of Finnish author Tove Jansson, who has written several books about them. There's even a Moomin theme park now, and joining us is her brother, Lars Jansson. And Lars, how did the Moomins begin? How did the idea come about?
Well, they started, the first Moomin was created one summer about 60 years ago, when my sister decorated an outhouse we had, you know, with drawings, watercolors, proverbs, quotations and things. And my brother took exception to one of them and wrote a quotation from Schopenhauer underneath. And then my sister wrote something under that, and then this whole discussion went on until my sister ran out of arguments and instead drew the ugliest, nastiest, most angular creature she could dream up.
And that became the Moomin.
That became the Moomin, yes.
And now it's taken off big time.
Oh, yes. But
Lars,
they look nicer now.
They are cute. They really are. I can see why they're popular with the kids. We're going to take a look at our weather maps right now. It's going to be a nice sunny day over much of the U.S. today. But before we get to that weather, I should tell you about abc.com. You can dial up the weather anywhere in the world virtually by dialing up abc.com on your system, and Reykjavik, Iceland will check out because we're going to be there tomorrow. Today in Reykjavik, it's mostly sunny and mild, a high of 44. Tomorrow, however, it's going to be a little rainy, a little raw, and a little windy. Now, we need to check out the weather back in the States. It's going to be a sunny day for much of the nation, especially out west and in the central states. There'll be some scattered light showers reaching in a narrow path from the Rockies down along the southern plains into the Gulf Coast. The heaviest area of storminess will be in the northeast, over New England, in the Ohio Valley, and the Great Lakes. Even a little bit of snow will fall there as temperatures will be rather chilly. That's a look at the national weather. Here's a look at what's happening where you are.
We have referred to Finland as a land of extremes, particularly when it comes to light and darkness. And as you may know, with this country so far north, in the winter there are days of almost entire darkness. And during the warmer than you'd expect summers, there are days of almost entire light. So what is it like to live in this kind of an environment? Well, we asked our Carolyn to go and find out.
By November, when temperatures drop to 20 degrees below zero, Finland is shrouded in a nighttime gloom for 20 hours a day. In the world's northernmost country, winter is known as the dark season.
Winter here in Finland, it's very difficult for me, and it's so long and so cold and dark all the time.
With the weather and the light come other extremes. Finland has one of the highest rates of alcoholism and the highest rate of suicide in the world. Science has not directly linked these problems to the lack of sunlight, but many Finns believe there is a connection between darkness and depression.
In Finland, to survive the winter, you must get some way the light. You don't have the light here.
In downtown Helsinki, customers are drawn to the bright lights of Cafe Engel. The owners installed special lamps that shine with 1/10 the brightness of the sun.
I've been sitting 15 minutes here, and then I'm ready for everything.
For Ilona Lintonen, exposure to light actually became a form of therapy. She was diagnosed with a mild form of seasonal affective disorder, known as SAD. It is a chronic depression triggered by the fading winter light. At Helsinki's National Institute of Public Health, Ilona sits in front of bright lights to help control her moods.
If I take it regularly, say like 3-4 days, then after 3-4 days, I feel that I am much stronger, much more energetic. You just feel it.
Her doctor believes as many as 10% of Finland's population suffers from SAD.
So they see a distinct difference between summer and winter.
Yes, right. It's quite common to have symptoms like increased need for sleep, increased appetite, weight gain, and depressed mood in winter.
The winters stretch from August until the end of April, when gradually the sun begins to linger. There is a frenzy of anticipation for the coming season when the sun will shine 20 hours a day.
There's no use for winter for me.
Families leave for the countryside to prepare their summer cottages. They know that summer will only last from June until the end of July. On the longest day of the year, hundreds of people carry out a Finnish tradition to toast the sun at midnight. Many Finns say they sleep just 4 hours a day in the summer. They spend the season returning to nature. There are the silent walks through the countryside, the days picking wild fruit.
People know that the winter is very long, so they collect food. It's a very common habit still, even in urban environments in Finland, to collect mushrooms, to collect berries.
Summer has always been about planning for the winter, planning for the future.
We drank a little wine from south.
Wine, red wine.
And we make babies, you know.
More babies are conceived in June than any other time of the year. Helena Potompolo and her husband Harry produced their greatest joy when the sun was shining brightest and gave birth in March, just as the dark winter nights began to end.
Spring is coming.
Spring is coming, but it's been a little late in arriving this year in Finland, and so the Finns very anxious to get the sun, people sunning themselves on the steps of the Senate Square. And we are here over in the Esplanade in the cafe, and we've asked a couple of the local folk to come and talk to us about just what it is like to live in this environment. Your name is?
It's Päivi.
What's your last name?
Kousa.
And how old are you?
I'm 24 years old, and I major in English at the University of Helsinki.
Student at the university, okay. And your name, sir, is?
Kalevi.
And you are how old?
63.
And retired?
Retired, yes.
Tell me what this is like. It would be so hard to imagine for Americans a summer where it literally never does get dark, or just for a couple of hours at night, and winters where it's dark all the time. Does it have a psychological effect on you?
Well, it kind of does. I mean, at least I do find it a lot harder to get up in the mornings during the winter time when it's dark outside, and you just have to turn up all the lights in your apartment and try to make yourself get up.
But can you really fool yourself?
I've learned to.
Well, I wouldn't, you know, they'd say that it is easier to wake up if you flood yourself with light. But I would think just the mood when you go outside at 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 when it's still dark, that would be sort of depressing.
Yeah, it kind of is. That you just have to like get yourself going, and like I do lots of sports during the winter time to get just things to do. I play basketball, I work out, and especially it helps if you make the most of the few light hours of the day and go do some winter sports, skiing or something outside.
Now, she says it's hard to wake up when it's dark all the time. I think it would be hard to go to sleep when it's light all the time in the summer.
No, that's no problem.
Really?
No.
Well, I woke up with the sun this morning, and then I looked at my watch, and it was about 4 a.m.
No, we are used to it, no problem. Yeah, especially when in the winter the nights are so long, and we wait for the spring, and then the summer when the nights are light.
Something occurs to me as we talk about this. What's your birthday?
In 22nd of March.
In March?
Yes.
And what's your birthday?
It's April 8th.
Well, now that means, if I think back 9 months, that you both would have been conceived in the summer. And yet I would think that more babies would be born in the spring, or in the fall rather, having been conceived in the winter. What is this about April and March birthdays?
It's very typical here in northern countries. I think it's not only in Finland, but also in other Scandinavian countries.
Really?
Yeah.
In the daytime?
All time.
That does seem strange.
Well, it seems like the long, light nights have something to do with it.
Yes, but that's in the daytime. Well, all right. Nice to...
It's night, but it's still light.
Night, but light. The light is on. Thank you both. Nice to talk to you. We take a commercial break. We'll be back.
Martha Stewart's new paints. Martha didn't just pick the colors. Martha picked the colors that go with the colors you pick. Now previewing at Kmart.
Hey, it's Uniglobe Cruise Festival. Call your local Uniglobe travel agent and ask about our Captain's Choice specials. Limited time offers on many of the world's best cruise lines. Call Uniglobe Travel now.
We're in for a hot summer. Very soft but sweet, no mercy from the heat. We're in for a hot summer. Very soft but sweet, no mercy from the heat.
When onion skins are thin, weather's warm coming in.
Flies come in for shelter. Summer days will swelter.
No matter the forecast, for years folks have trusted their heating and cooling to the company founded by Dave Lennox.
I always say it's best to be prepared.
Because like Lennox dealers today, Dave provided the best in home comfort.
That didn't rhyme.
If not poetry. Lennox, one less thing to worry about.
You guys are tough, but I've got something that'll satisfy everybody. Now, who wants what?
Keep your team happy with a bucket from KFC. Mix roasted and fried, even new honey barbecue tender roast.
You keep hogging that bucket, and you're out of here.
Now at KFC, it's the more for your money meal. More chicken, more choices, more sides, and more biscuits. The only thing that's not more is the price. Just $14.99. Hurry, sale ends May 26th.
They're here, Chevy S10s with special 4.8 48 months financing, including 4x4s and extended cabs at your Chevrolet dealers Northwest.
He's tough as steel, fast on his feet, able to leap from exploding buildings, and he's not afraid to get dirty. He's Al Horton, sidekick to Tim the Toolman King.
I have a little motto for you, Al. When I'm annoyed, you're unemployed.
On home improvement.
Ready, correct?
When you think of the tango, this is probably what comes to mind. It was created in Argentina at the turn of the century, but it has come a long way since then. Now, it was during World War II that the tango came to this country, and the Finns immediately were passionate about it, although they've made a few alterations to it. But today, the tango to the Finns is as much as this country as the midnight sun, and right now our Mindy Moore is poised on the dance floor, waiting for a lesson in the tango the way the Finns do it. Mindy?
Good morning, Joan. I tell you what, the tango is huge here in Finland. It consistently is on the top 40 charts here on Finnish radio. And when they have the annual tango competition, there are over 100,000 people who will show up to learn to tango. And with me is Sipo, who they tell me is an excellent tango instructor.
Yes.
And I have to ask you,
okay,
because whenever I think of the tango, I always think of Argentina, which is sort of sexy and smoldery. And when I think of Finland, I don't exactly think of sexy and smoldery.
Yes, but Finnish men are wild ones.
They are?
Yes, but you cannot see it.
You cannot, because why? Are they very internal and they're only...
Yes, they're a little bit inside people, but when they dance tango, they are very good.
They are? Why do you think the Finnish people have embraced the tango so much?
I think because it's a very easy way to speak with people. When you go dance place and there's only music and you can listen to the words and start to dance, and
right,
because Finnish men don't want to speak, not so much.
Just to dance.
Yeah.
It's a little different where I come from. Now I tell you what, everybody loves to tango here. Do the young kids like to do it, or they like to disco?
Yes, we have a lot of young kids who want to start to learn how to dance.
Okay, well, I tell you what, they tell me that you are an excellent dance instructor, and I thought perhaps you could teach me a little bit of the Finnish tango.
Yes, of course.
Okay, you want to try it? What's the first thing that I need to know?
Okay, first thing what you must to know, there is a 4-step. We have 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every 4 step fits together.
Okay, why don't we try that? 4 steps.
We take, this is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
In Texas, where I come from, that's like the 2-step.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it one last time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And
How
then
about
you can take hold.
Okay.
And now always start right leg backward.
Okay.
1, 2,
music.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
How am I doing?
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Can we try a dip?
2, 3, 4. Wow! Another one.
A kick? Finnish men are very sexy and smoldery.
Oops. Always squeeze together. 4 step. 2.
How old were you when you learned how to do this?
This is very easy steps.
One more dip, okay? For the big finish.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Let's try the dip.
Okay. Very sweet. Okay.
We'll be back when Good Morning America continues.
I love things that sparkle.
I like complicated things. I go for sensation.
I crave sweet things.
Something heavenly. My taste is very simple.
My taste is simple too.
I like rich stuff.
I like to try new things. My taste is very sophisticated.
We may be different, but we're all equal.
Which plant food do America's top professional growers use? Let's go right to the source.
Bonnie Plant Farm grows over 100 million plants. Got to have the right stuff. Every time we water, we feed these plants for Miracle-Gro. The quality, the vitality, the character of the plant is much better. Look at the roots on this rascal. It wraps all the way around the plant. And it's done this because it has been fed with Miracle-Gro for 6 weeks. We use the very best seed and the very best plant food, Miracle-Gro.
The morning begins at sleepy pace. Coffee telling you not to race. Breakfast blend, something new. Mountain grown aroma coming through.
Where is he? I better go check.
Folgers Coffee House Breakfast Blend. A new variety of mountain-grown aroma and flavor. Amazingly smooth yet full-bodied. A taste of unhurried times.
I better go check.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
I better go check.
What causes denture odor? Get close and you'll see. Germs. Introducing Efferdent Plus with fresh burst Listerine ingredients. It kills odor-causing germs, so you can get this close. New Minty Efferdent Plus. Kill the germs, kill the odor.
Don't get that, Frank.
Hello? Baxter!
Meow, 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 meow.
4 delicious flavors make Meow Mix taste so good, cats ask for it by name.
Meow, meow.
It's Baxter!
Your total news coverage from the Cascades to the Columbia Basin. This is Morning Local News on ABC.
Good morning and thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Alex Peach. There has been an explosion at Hanford so powerful it blew out windows and the door of a plutonium plant. Doctors have given the workers involved a clean bill of health, but there is still a possibility that workers have been exposed to dangerous chemicals. As Trova Hutchins reports with these exclusive pictures, many questions are still unanswered.
Much of what caused this explosion is still not clear, but some of the end results are blown out windows, a door torn off its hinges, a brown cloud, and a ruptured water line. Joe Hennessy works next door.
I wanted to get out of there as soon as I could, and that's what we did. It took us about 5 hours before we could get out.
The plutonium reclamation facility where the explosion took place is used to store chemicals like nitric acid, nitrates, phosphates. Most likely, workers say some kind of chemical reaction went bad, but there is no firm word yet which chemicals are involved and which chemicals may have come too close to a worker. Dr. John Smith treated the 8 employees who came in.
All these people were healthy. They had some very minor symptoms that are not indicative of any one specific agent.
Smith says many workers may suffer from what he calls crowd mentality. In other words, after the first person complained of a sore throat, a metallic taste in the mouth, a headache, the others may have been convinced they had those symptoms too.
Oh, I did taste a metallic taste in my mouth a little bit. It tastes like rust to me, but I don't now. I feel fine.
But there is relief for those employees. The close initial scan for contamination on site did not turn up anything. But even without health problems, this explosion could be painful, all the way to the top of Hanford's chain of command.
That was Trova Hutchins reporting from Hanford. A press conference has been scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops, and we'll have a complete report on the local news at 5 o'clock. In other news this morning, a Yakima County judge says a 17-year-old caused the death of 2 other boys Judge Jim Hutton found Enrique Guzman guilty of 2 counts of vehicular homicide yesterday. Guzman and 4 others were riding in a car on I-82 near Grandview last September. An argument ensued and Guzman grabbed the wheel, forcing the car off the road. The 18-year-old driver and another 20-year-old were both killed. Sentencing will take place within the next 2 weeks. Guzman could spend the next 3 to 4 years behind bars. Well, when we come back, we'll have a quick look at your weather.
The giant automotive super sale is on. This weekend, you'll save thousands. New Audi, BMW, Chrysler Plymouth, Mercedes-Benz, Suzuki, Volkswagen. Used. Hundreds of cars, trucks, and vans from just $99. All sacrificed this weekend at Sears parking lot in the Valley Mall. Over 600 vehicles. Rock bottom prices clearly posted. Top dollar for trades paid for or not. No money down delivered. Financing from 0%. The automotive super sale on now at the Sears parking lot Valley Mall. You can't afford to miss it.
Here comes the bride. Her first interview since the wedding. Brooke Shields, plus my friend Bill Cosby. Next, Oprah.
Mostly to partly cloudy skies throughout the region today. Let's take a look outside and look at conditions at your house right now. Currently in Ellensburg, it is 59 degrees. In Yakima, it's 69 degrees under clear skies. In the Tri-Cities, it is 68. In Walla Walla, it's 70. And in Pendleton, 64 degrees right now. Well, that's it for us this morning. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you this afternoon for the local news at 5 and 5:30. Now back to Good Morning America. Make it a great Thursday.
It's the Buick Celebration, a selling event on the all-new Buicks. Park Avenue, the new look of luxury. Lease it, get 2.8 financing or a $1,500 Nordstrom gift certificate. Century, lease it for $289 a month, buy it for under 20 grand. Celebrate! The Sabre, take 2.8 financing or $800 worth of gasoline. Dynamite deals on the all-new Buicks. The Buick Celebration.
Central Washington, celebrate!
If you've won the lottery or are receiving any type of structured payout, wouldn't you like all of your money right now?
I'm 63 years old. I needed my money now. The Woodbridge folks made it happen.
If you're receiving any type of long or short-term payout, Woodbridge can offer you a lump sum of cash today.
Woodbridge was wonderful to me.
Call Woodbridge Sterling Capital, the country's leading purchaser of cash flows, at 1-800-499-7240.
Hi, my name is Riikka Hakola from the Finnish National Opera. Hyvää huomenta Amerikka, which means good morning America.
And we welcome you back. We are here in the food market of Helsinki, Finland.
That's right. This is day 4 of our trip through Scandinavia. It is Thursday, May 15th, and we are in Helsinki this morning, day 4 of our trip. And this is, we're in one of the many, many harbors of this city, which is also the site of a very, very busy open-air market. And just outside here are the docks where the big ferries pull in to port after crossing the Baltic Sea.
What is it about the Yanks? They all bring signs down here. I don't know.
My cousins, Seattle, Dallas, and Raleigh. Several cousins.
Hi, Tina Terry and the boys in Cordova, Tennessee. Hello, Hampton University. Hello, Dave and Carol Thompson. You're all taken care of
And
now.
Jerry in Greenville.
Put the signs down. We're going to turn to Santa Claus in this half hour. Now, I know it's only May, and I know every Scandinavian country claims to be the home of Santa Claus, but he actually has a pretty good operation going here in Finland, and the jolly old fat man is going to join us himself. And also, we got the Leningrad Cowboys. The rock group describes themselves as the worst rock and roll band in the world. And they certainly do have the ugliest shoes and hairdos that I've ever seen, but they're pretty good. Their music sells quite well here in Europe and in the United States, and they're going to be here to perform. But let's get to the news of the morning. Elizabeth Vargas.
All right, thanks so much, Joan and Charlie. Good morning, everyone. A final Senate vote could come today on a Republican bill that would ban a certain type of late-term abortion. But first, there will be more of the emotional debate that filled the Senate yesterday. Here's ABC's Bob Zelnick.
The mother of 5.5-year-old Donna Joy Watts decided against a late-term abortion, despite predictions her fetus had too little brain tissue to survive.
I wanted my baby alive, whether she was going to live 5 minutes or 5 days or 5 weeks.
Donna Joy became a pawn in the latest battle over what abortion foes call partial birth abortions, as Senate opponents of a bill banning the procedure blocked efforts to seat her in the visitors' gallery. Abortion foes equate this late-term method with murder.
and a doctor takes some scissors and jams it right here, right in the back, the base of the skull.
We must not pass reckless legislation which moves politicians into the hospital room where we do not belong.
To break the bill's momentum, Senate Democrats got White House backing for substitutes, which would ban all third trimester abortions except to preserve the life or health of the mother. But this new American Medical Association report concludes that third trimester abortions are rarely necessary, and that the partial birth is never the only appropriate procedure to induce abortion. Senate abortion foes say they'll have the votes today to defeat the two substitute bills, but not a big enough majority to override a certain presidential veto of their own legislation. That's exactly the way things wound up in the last Congress. Bob Zelnick, ABC News on Capitol Hill.
We have a new look at inflation this morning. A day after reporting a sharp drop in producer prices, the government reports the consumer price index rose 0.1% in April. That is the same as in March. A government advisory panel is recommending approval of a new diet drug for obese people. The pill, called Orlistat, prevents fat that a person eats from being digested. It is designed only for very overweight people. A decision from the FDA on whether to approve the drug is expected within a month. On World News Tonight, if you're feeling sick lately, stomach aches, nausea, chances are it could be parasites. Now, learn new information to help you fight back. That's on World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. And that's the news this morning at 8:34. For continuous news coverage, go to our internet site, abcnews.com, available on the World Wide Web or America Online. And now let's go back to Helsinki, Finland, and check the weather with Spencer.
Okay, Elizabeth, I'm in the heart of Helsinki, and one of the indoor markets in the harbor area here. There are all kinds of neat things here, all kinds of good foods and delicacies and arts and crafts made by the Sami people, who are the native people from that region up north of the Arctic Circle. Great stuff on display here at this table in front of me, and I'd like to dig right in, but first we need to take a look at today's weather. Back home, it's going to be a mild and sunny day for much of the nation, from the plains and the southeast westward out to the west coast. There will be a path of scattered showers, widely scattered from the Rockies down to the Gulf Coast, but the only seriously stormy weather will be up in the northeast, where it'll be rainy, windy, and raw, with some snow likely over the central Great Lakes, and high temperatures in that region today will be way below normal for late spring, highs only in the 40s and 50s. Meanwhile, out in the interior west, highs in the 80s and 90s and 100s in the desert southwest. That's a look at the national weather. Here's a look at what's happening where you are. And next, living in opposite worlds, a look at one man's life as a farmer in the countryside of Finland and as an artist in New York City. When Good Morning America continues from Helsinki.
For a video cassette with the best of Good Morning America's trip to Scandinavia,
call 1-800-543-4GMA.
It's a trip to paradise, and this man has lost his vacation money. And so has he. This man was carrying cash, but he insisted on American Express traveler's checks. So while he had no one to turn to, this man called American Express as he tried calling home. With just one phone call, American Express can refund your lost or stolen traveler's checks just about any time, any place. Don't take chances. Take American Express traveler's checks, the smart way to do more.
Hey lover, how about some garden supplies? Seat covers just like these, 4-foot fence and flares, electric cookware, if you please. You'll be the first place I'll always try, 'cause just like me, you have a softer side. Come see the softer side of Sears.
You think about your house a lot. You know how to make things happen. You take pride in a job well done. You know the difference between semi-gloss and flat. You know you can do it yourself. Because you know, help is just around the corner.
So you think you can escape from that straitjacket faster than he can find the richest coffee in the world? Is that right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, let's begin. Got it.
Finding the richest coffee in the world is easy. Just look for Juan Valdez. You're guaranteed that it's 100% Colombian coffee.
Hurry, coffee's getting cold.
Helsinki is a very modern city of about 500,000 people. But the rest of Finland is very thinly populated. It is heavily forested, and it is a country of 55,000 lakes. Chantal Westerman recently met an artist who lives in the Finnish countryside part of the year. The rest of the year he lives in New York City.
The land in Nokia, Finland that Osmo Rauhala will plant with organic wheat, potatoes, and berries this spring has been in his family for 15 generations. He lives in a house that hasn't changed in his entire lifetime.
I'm just one link in a long chain, and I don't want to be the one who cuts that.
But Osmo is not only a farmer, he's also an internationally respected artist. A world away, he has a second home and studio in New York City. And oddly enough, he finds the two worlds surprisingly similar.
My first reaction of New York when I got here was that this is like a big forest. Of course, visually, it was a little bit like being between tall trees, but also mentally, when you don't know anybody and you have so many people around you, you don't think it as individuals anymore. And so you are totally alone.
The forest is a Finn's church. That traditional saying is how the Finns define their relationship with their country's vast forests. Not only are billions made from the forest products every year in Finland, the people themselves retreat to their country homes in the woods at every opportunity. And for Finns like Osmo, who are lucky enough to be raised in the country, the forest teaches them things that stay with them for life.
My mother told me about 3,000 animal stories before I was 5. She learned them through her father, and then she carried on that tradition to me. So there was already this huge number of stories inside my head when I started to make pictures.
Osmo, inspired by the forest, began making pictures at the age of 12.
It was a reality about the animals, living with them, working with them, and this huge pile of stories.
Osmo's creative spirit quickly branched out beyond the farm and the forest. In addition to art, Osmo has studied philosophy and science. He has 3 university degrees and is hard at work on a PhD in fine arts. That's in addition to farming and painting. As you can imagine, it all takes enormous discipline. Discipline that comes directly from his roots.
It takes a lot of time to learn your techniques, kind of like learning your instrument, what you have to do. So that's education, that's work, very much discipline. And I think that I learned from the farm, because there you have to focus. There's a hectic season when you have to do planting, and then there is harvesting.
What are the differences between the way you look at the world in New York City and Nokia?
We live deep in the country. I don't have clock. You know the time from the sun and clouds, and the animals are behaving a certain way. So you don't have to necessarily look at the weather report. I think that's the one reason I can also stay in New York, because I know I can always go back. I have a place to go.
It is very attractive here at Helsinki's harborside, a nice place to come and paint. We take a commercial break. When we come back, Santa Claus, the real Santa Claus, I think, talking to Joan. Stay with us.
Been an awful good girl, Santa baby, and hurry down the chimney tonight.
Having trouble getting the family to eat wheat bread? Try butter-topped home-pride wheat. They'll love the soft texture and light, thin crust. You'll love the nutrition. Only 1 gram of fat and cholesterol-free. Hey, looks like you figured out how to get the family to like wheat bread. Home Pride Wheat, the taste that brings healthy bread home.
Sometimes they mosey. Other times they're greased lightning. The best way to keep them happy and safe is to baby-proof. So use safety plugs in your outlets. Hook up a baby monitor and lock up anything that could hurt them. Keep those little cowpokes safe. Children first.
Fred Meyer and KAPP ABC, working together to put children first.
I'm Mike Olson from Mike Olson Dodge, folks. And you know, we're not the #1 volume dealership in town. Never have been, never really want to be. But you know who's #1 here? The customer. We take care of our customers. We treat them like what they are. They are our business. Our customers are #1, and they always will be, and they always have been. That's Mike Olson Dodge, 1710 South 1st Street in Yakima. Thanks, folks.
Imagine your home beautifully adorned by Valley Landscape and Design. With Valley Landscape's new computer imagery, you can see tomorrow today. It's amazing. We take a photo, create a professional design, and before your eyes, you'll see your home's full potential. We take the guesswork out of landscaping. Call today for your professional landscape consultation. Valley Landscape and Design, where seeing is believing.
There is a heated debate going on here in Scandinavia because each of the countries says that they have the real Santa Claus. But of course the Finns say he lives here, and Judd Rose went to the town that Santa and his helpers call home.
At first glance, this place, way up north in Finnish Lapland, right on the Arctic Circle, isn't what you expect Santa's hometown to look like. But make your way down the road a bit and turn right at the service station, and there it is, Santa's village. This, of course, is Mr. Claus, or as the Finns call him, Joulupukki, surrounded by piles of letters from children of all ages and all places. He says last year alone he got 700,000 pieces of mail from 150 countries.
Seems to be a Russian day today, all of these from Russia.
And what would Santa be without his helpers? He's got them on scene and online.
You could say that, yes. And during the busy season, just before Christmas, we have something like around 40 people doing the letter service. So it's a busy time.
Now, this Santa business is big business. He's got a souvenir shop, his own post office, even a digital photo setup, which all adds up to 500,000 tourists who spent about $9 million last year alone. His big season is, of course, the holidays, but even in the off-season, a legend's got to make a living.
I meet tourists. I'll also have some letters coming in May, and when there are more quiet days, I might have a rest.
When all is said and done, is this the real Santa? And if he is, what about the claims of other countries? What about all those guys sitting in American department stores and ringing bells on street corners?
I always say there is only one Santa Claus, and that is the one you see and the one that is in your heart.
Well, at no expense, we flew Santa in, because of course he came on his reindeer, of course, into Helsinki. Hiya, Santa Claus.
Hello, Joan. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Helsinki and Finland.
This is a full-time job of yours?
This is a full-time life.
Full-time life. What would you be doing in May? Building toys for next Christmas?
Oh, we do that. My helpers do that. Today I'm here. Tomorrow I'm actually going to a charity event in England to meet some very sick children who want to come and meet me at the Arctic Circle in December.
What do you do when you're off on vacation?
You mean like relaxing?
Yeah.
Oh, I go and walk in the wilderness of Lapland and see the nature, talk with the nature. It's beautiful there.
Well, everybody wants to know, is he the real Santa? Kids? Come here. Is this the real Santa?
Hey!
Is this the real Santa? Yeah?
Hello?
All right. Well, we'll let the children play with Santa Claus, and when we come back, we will be entertained by the Leningrad Cowboys, an unusual group from Helsinki. Thank you, Santa Claus.
Thank you.
I'm a good girl.
I know.
Direct from Ford, the great percent event is back at your Northwest Ford dealer. And that means your choice of low 1.9 financing for 48 months or big cash back on America's favorite cars. Get 1.9 financing or 500 cash back on Contour. Get 1.9 financing or 1,000 cash back on Taurus, Escort, and Thunderbird. Even get 1.9 financing on the all-new ZX2. Big cash back or 1.9 financing. Take advantage of the great of the 10 best sellers in America. Again.
It's Walker's Furniture once a year Serta Truckload Sale, where you can save big on all sizes and styles of Serta, the world's most asked for mattress, with savings of 10 to 40% off on Serta Perfect Sleepers, and queen sets starting as low as $299. Walker's Furniture is blasting prices on all Serta sets, with 6 months no interest financing. So come into Walker's today, because your most important piece of furniture should be your mattress.
Education is the key to protecting you and your family from crime. Hi, I'm Don Blasio, Chief of the Yakima Police Department, inviting you to join me at this year's Crime Prevention Fair this Thursday night from 6 to 8 p.m. This year's fair should be bigger and better than ever before. The number of participants has grown, ensuring you and your family a fun and informational time. Citizens' involvement and cooperation with law enforcement can bring our community together to fight against crime. Please come join us this Thursday night.
Attention, Yakima Valley. Have you stopped at Michael Durr Motor Cars at the big American flag on North 1st Street? You gotta stop. There's big savings, great selection, and low, low prices. How about these 3 sporty gas savers? A 1989 Ford Ranger pickup, a 1988 Ford Mustang, and a 1990 Ford Escort GT. Priced at only $39.95 with $89 down and monthly payments of $155.30 per month. Look for the red, white, and blue, where credit union members are always welcome. Michael Durr Motor Cars, next to Mel's Diner in Yakima.
A little earlier, we had a chance to talk with one of the Leningrad Cowboys, the uniquely clad and uniquely coiffed Cowboys. Now the whole group is with us, and I would point out that there is no hair gel left in the entire city of Helsinki.
We told them we were a little homesick, so they're going to do one of their hit songs, Sweet Home Alabama, from their CD, Happy Together. Take it away, guys.
Timber!
The Southern man don't need him around anyhow. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are blue. Sweet home Alabama, sweet home. Lord, I'm coming home to you.
Permanent Exteriors serves southeastern Washington, from Ellensburg to Walla Walla.
We're installing top quality home improvements like these, adding beauty and value to every property. Our craftsmen pay close attention to even the smallest of details. Permanent Exteriors is the contractor you can trust.
So call today for your free no-hassle estimate. And remember, we don't get paid till your home improvement's been made.
Eagle is more of everything. The trouble is, when you're in the Eagle door department, how do you find your way out? Oh, maybe through here. It's, doors. More doors. Oh, maybe over here. There's got to be a door out of the Eagle door department. Be through. Oh, no. More doors.
Eagle Hardware and Garden. More of everything. Strikingly beautiful storm doors from Cole Sewell. Quality construction and rich styling keep the elements at bay. Cole Sewell at Eagle. Bagel, 11 donut-shaped, firm-textured roll with a brownish glazed surface. But from some bagels, there's bagel excitement. Blueberry, raisin, cinnamon, dill, pumpkin, spice, jalapeno, sunflower seed, pesto, cheddar, cranberry, and sun-dried tomatoes, just to name a few. 14 great cream cheeses for spreading, plus bagel chips and bagel witches filled with turkey, ham, or roast beef. Some Bagels. It's healthy, low-fat, and delicious. So come on in and have Some Bagels, 3rd and Nob Hill in Yakima, also Richland and Kennewick.
The giant automotive super sale is on. This weekend, you'll save thousands. New Audi, BMW, Chrysler Plymouth, Mercedes-Benz, Suzuki, Volkswagen. Used. Hundreds of cars, trucks, and vans from just $99. All sacrificed this weekend at Sears parking lot in the Valley Mall. Over 600 vehicles. Rock bottom prices clearly posted. Top dollar for trades paid for or not. No money down delivered. Financing from 0%. The automotive super sale on now at the Sears parking lot Valley Mall. You can't afford to miss it.
All right, tomorrow we are going to end our Scandinavian tour in Iceland, a very unique country.
We are. We're going to travel to Reykjavik tonight. We will be broadcasting from there tomorrow. I think you'll find it a fascinating program. We're going to go off with a little bit more music from the Leningrad Cowboys. Can you guys do backup the way they were doing it here? This young lady has...
I love your hair.
One of the more unique hairdos of all time. It is sort of reminiscent of the onion domes on top of St. Basil's Cathedral in Red Square in Moscow.
That's what I've been told.
It wasn't just a coincidence that this happened?
It's just my hair. I wouldn't know how it is like
All right.
You asked.
We go off with the song There Must Be an Angel from the Leningrad Cowboys. A little Finnish rock and roll to finish.
A good finish.
She's playing with mine. I want you to run up to you and suddenly let my heart go boom. And all this rock of angel, I've been playing with mine. My feet talking to an angel. 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 I wanna just be like you. I'm growing old with you. There must be an angel, and she's playing with my. And just when I'm thinking that I'm ready, it's just as marvelous that I'm multitude of angels, and they're playing with my.
Transportation provided by Finnair, the natural choice for travel to Finland, Scandinavia, Russia, the Baltics, and Northern Europe, with uncommon concern for the comfort of each passenger. Accommodations in Helsinki provided by the Ramada Presidency Hotel, designed for the most discriminating traveler and home to Finland's only international casino, the Ramada Presidency, flagship of the Restel Hotel Group.
Good Morning America has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.